What is up, YouTube world? My name is Eric Stone, if you hadn't know that by now. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Expiring Music Writer. Please subscribe, share, like, comment, dislike, suggest, whatever. Give me a thumbs up, whatever, I don't care. Anyways, this video is going to be another review of Stanley. This is his hat. You can buy this at his shows. Probably get it on chanstanley.com or Facebook. He's also got shirts, koozies, CDs. But 2 nights ago, on my birthday, he opened up for the legendary Chris Knight. So it was him and Chris Knight live at the Majestic in Fort Smith, which is my favorite venue to go watch live music. It used to be called the Rib Room years ago, in my early 20s. I'm 36 now. And then it was the Sound Room after that. I actually seen Ted Nugent there in July, I think, like late July. And they actually sold out a beer that night because it was so hot and there was no air conditioning and there was no walls on it at that time. Then for a while it was a Sound Room. Then the people that own it now did a lot of renovation to it. And now it's got air conditioning and a roof over it and got walls, and it's a really great venue. And what's great about it, they can have concerts during the winter or colder months now. It's still kind of hot, even though it's fall, second day of fall. And, Chance Stanley is a great guy. Check him out, Chance Stanley, on Facebook, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your music at. Check him out. He's got, I think, a few singles and 2 EPs out. But that night, I met him a couple years ago at Heroes, and I got to interview him that night, and a guy named Pistol Hill. He was with Pistol Hill, and I got to interview him because I like to interview local artists. Well, he's not really local, he's from Mississippi, Tupelo, Mississippi, actually a little bit, I think, north or south of Tupelo. But anyways, he is inspired by artists like Roger Miller, John Prine, George Jones, Robert Earl Keen, and it's sad that he retired. But anyways, that night, it was, I think it was the 4th or 5th time he opened up for Chris Knight. Chris is a legendary songwriter. He's been writing since the late 90s. He got 6 or 7 albums out. One thing about Chris Knight, though, he does not do covers. And I like that. I don't think I've ever seen him do a cover. And I've seen him 6, 7 times, I think. But anyways, Chance Stanley did 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 to 15 songs that night. He did most of the originals, and he did 2 covers that night. But like I said, check him out. He kicked off with a funny song called Another Picker's Cheating Song. That's a great song, and you can find that on streaming platforms. And then Folks in Alabaster, that's about a song about how slow they drive in Alabaster, Alabama. Then he did a Roger Miller cover called Ooh Dee Lala. I don't know if that's actually how you say it, but it's a song that Roger Miller wrote for the Disney movie Robin Hood. It's a great song. Sounds just like something Roger Miller would write. And then he went back to originals. Did Mobile about not being able to pay your bar tab in Mobile. Alabama. And then one of my favorite songs he does is a song called Know Too Well about an exotic dancer down in Memphis, Tennessee. Then he did a love song called Farmhouse that he wrote for, I think he wrote for his wife. Then he did another song, great song that I love called Heart and Heartland Sky. I've recorded it a few times. Check it out. Badass song. It's for the working man. And then he did another song called Cross Tie Town. And I think he wrote that with Pistol Hill. But don't quote me. I'll have to ask Chance. And then he did another funny song. He does a lot of humorous songs. Like I said, John Prine, Todd Snyder, Roger Miller type songs. I mean, they're originals. This one was called Kingpin of Prentice County. And it's about his meemaw selling illegal substances out of her kitchen. And then he did a song called Woke in Hoboken. I think that's how you say it. It's about just a bad night he had in a town called Hoboken. And then he did Okro and Coke. I think that's a song title. I don't know if it's just Okro or Okro and Coke. But it's a good, funny beer drinking or whiskey drinking song. And then he did the second cover, Mighty Good Wine. And that was by a guy named Mick Harrison, M-I-C Harrison. In the high scores, I just discovered them. Check them out on streaming platforms. If you want to hear that song of this very first album. And then he did after Boken, he did Permanent Vacation. And then Okro, then Mighty Good Wine. And then before he did his last song, and I thank him so much. It was my birthday, and he acknowledged me, that I help the local artists out, or independent artists, I should say, out. And I'm very grateful for that and his friendship. And then he ended with his set with Dry, and it's a funny song. And if you want to listen to it, or the whole set from the Majestic, it's on my Expired Music Writer channel. So check it out. But check out, I've got numerous videos of Chance, so check him out. He is a great songwriter, great guy. If you want any merch like this, check him out on social media. I don't know if he has a store, I'm sure he, website, but you can find his merch, I know, at a show, and just check him out. And then, of course, afterwards, he got off, and he said he was really grateful and humble to be opening for the fourth or fifth time for Chris Knight. Now, Chris Knight is a legendary songwriter. He's not dead, but he's still a legend. He is one of the best fucking songwriters out there, and I'd love to write half as good as that man can. He's also most recently been on the Jacking Around podcast with Jack Ingram, and it's funny because he jokes, he goes, I can't help it, but I gotta kill him before I finish the song. A lot of his songs are about killing people. I know one thing, I will not go down the river with Chris Knight. No, I'm just teasing. But if you don't know who Chris Knight is, check him out. He's had songs recorded by Montgomery Gentry, Blake Shelton, Kentucky Headhunters, Cross Canadian Ragweed, a few other people. Frank Liddell and Dan Baird from Georgia Satellites have produced his albums. I know Dan Baird's played on a few of them too. He's co-written a few songs with Chris too. But that night, Chris, he usually travels with a 4-piece band, and I cannot remember the bass player and drummer, but I will put it up on my YouTube channel, or the video when I upload it, and on my Facebook channel too. But usually that night, Austin Cunningham was his lead guitarist that night. Electric guitarist. He's a songwriter too. I think he co-wrote Enough Rope with him, but that night he did 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, about 19 songs that night. He always kicks off with Becky's Bible. I love that song. And it's hard to come up with a favorite song of his, but that's probably one of my favorite songs, Becky's Bible. And then he went into Rural Route. That is another great song. And the funny thing is, his tour manager, Jason Knight, was telling me, because I was asking him, because there's a line in that song that says something like, I found my mother's grave. And sang the only verse I knew of Amazing Grace. And what's weird is on the studio version, he did not sing it that way. It was a little bit different. And I guess after recording that on that album, I think it's the second Pretty Good Guy. No, I can't remember, whatever album it is. He changed the lyrics, and that's what I guess they never went back and redid it, but it's just weird, funny fact that, because in the studio version, because it found my mother's grave, and he don't say nothing there, and then he put in, sang the only verse I knew of Amazing Grace, and then he kicked off with Little Victories, which is on the same titled album, and he sang it with John Prine. God rest John Prine. Then he did Send It On Down, which is on his latest album, Almost Daylight. And then he tuned his guitar, and then he sang another song off of Almost Daylight called William Callahan. Then afterwards he did Heart of Stone. That's another great song. And then Nothing on Me. Then I recorded few songs. He did Missing You and Low Down Ramblin' Blues, which is off of Little Victories. And then the bass guitarist and drummer went off stage, and him and Austin Cunningham accompanied him on Old Man and Enough Rope on their harmonica. And I love the way they did it. They slowed it down on both. Then afterwards, he introduced the bass player and drummer and went into It Ain't Easy Being Me. That song was actually recorded by Blake Shelton a few years back. Then he went into Oil Patch Town and Love in a 45. That's another great song. Then he did North Dakota. Afterwards, Cry Lonely, which was recorded by Crosby and Ragweed on their Mission, California album. Then he did the infamous Down the River song. And then they went off stage for a few minutes, and the drummer got people clapping. They came back on stage for a 2-song encore, and they did Jack Blue and ended with Framed. And like I said, he's great artist. I don't think he comes out as much anymore. I've only met him once, I think. But he, I think he just don't like to be around a lot of people. But like I said, if you don't know who Chris Knight is, check him out. Streaming platforms, chrisknight.com. Got shirts, hats, koozies, vinyls. Everything. And one thing I wish, and I don't think he'll ever do it, somebody asked him in an interview one time if you ever thought about writing a novel, because a lot of his songs are like a 45-minute short story, and it's just awesome. And I'm actually working on a novel right now called One Last Dance with the Devil, and it's based off his song. Oh, what is that song? Lisa used to love to dance. Hard Edges. It was a song he did on one of the trailer tapes. He did two albums of trailer tapes, which is just him and a acoustic guitar in one of his, I think, his trailer at his house. And I didn't really get into the song, and I don't know why, because it's a great song lyrically. And he went back on Little Victories and added like a haunting banjo to it, and that song just blew me away with the haunting banjo. And I got the idea for this novel, loosely based off The Woman in Hard Edges, and Crossing Ragweed's Sick and Tired song. So anyways, I'm working on that, and like I said, please share, subscribe, like, comment, dislike, suggest, and I'm also going to do some album reviews. I'm going to do Raglands. They're a band, I think, from Oklahoma. Sonny Sweeney's new album, Married Alone. There's some other album reviews I'm going to do. So check it out, and I'll see y'all later.